What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news extra. We're not gonna talk about Pogba, Di Maria, because those transfers are, I won't say done, but we talked about it a lot. We just need to wait on some really new news, basically, not a meeting or final details. We just need to hear now it's done. Basically, that's the final step in the Di Maria and Pogba talks. They're gonna meet. Apparently, Cherubini is in Paris for the final. They will talk about Di Maria final details. Meeting for Pogba in the next few days. So you would expect it to get done, basically. But then again, you never know in the transfer market. But we're not gonna talk about that. Before I'll delve into what we're gonna talk about. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. And then let's go. That's it. We're gonna talk about the strikers, or like not strikers. I would say better attackers, because that's like we talk about our midfield as we should, because it's not good enough. It hasn't been good enough for many years. We improved a bit, but it's not good enough. We know that. But when you sit back and you think about our attacking department, it's not looking, I don't say good. It's looking empty. It's Vlahovic, it's Keane. Morata left, Caio, like, it's what it is. Dybala left, Bernardeschi left, and that's it. Like, that's actually it. So we need to find a solution. We need to bring in players. So that's what we're going to talk about, because you hear names as Arnautovic again. Before I'm recording this video, because at the report, newspapers came out, and it says that we're still following Arnautovic. Nico Schira said Arnautovic, or he mentioned Arnautovic. He mentioned Raspadori, but he said like 30 mil, that's not what the club is going to pay. Muriel, that's the name that is being linked with us now. So a lot of names, but nothing really solid, nothing really concrete. The only thing we know now is what Romeo is saying. And he said there has been a contact between Juve and Atletico for Morata, a big distance, as they're not in a mood for big discounts. The parties will talk again, but to date the negotiations appear to be one of the most complicated. So Atletico is not dropping their demands, and if you just read between the lines and also listen to other news, they want at least 27 million euros. We are offering max 20, and that's what included some weird bonuses apparently. So it's not even close. It's not even close. Would I spend 35 for Morata? No chance. Would I spend 27 for Morata? Also no chance, in my opinion. Also because, like, I like him, but like he's not a big difference maker, you know. He plays a lot. He played a lot this season, and he had ups and downs. Some games he's important. Some games you just wish he's not on that pitch. Let's be honest. And he's a good guy, all of that. But like, we're not gonna win by having good guys. We need to make smart business decisions. Also because we know what the situation is, and spending 35 or like even 28 on Morata, I don't think that's a smart decision. Keep in mind, he has a 6 million euro contract. You know, a season, that's a lot for basically being your backup. If Chiesa comes back, Vlahovic is back, and you bring in Di Maria, because you expect Di Maria to start, you know. So paying 6 million euros for Morata as a backup, I don't think that's a smart move. But we need to do something, because for now it's Vlahovic and that's it, and Keane. But we will go into the next few topics. But we're gonna buy Keane. Apparently, I'm just gonna sell him also because he asked to be sold, and we need to buy him because that's the agreement we had with Everton. So it's not all, I don't want to say, like, it's not rosy. Like, at the moment, everything sounds weird in the attacking department, because there's nobody, basically, you know. The only person who's 100% certain to stay is Vlahovic. All the rest left, and Keane is not certain to stay. So I don't think we are like putting enough, how do you want to say it, time in discussing the situation. And again, it's very early. I think the club is moving for 2 players, and then they will focus on the other ones. But when you hear the name of Arnautovic, I don't know, it's for the backup, but like even then, I'm like, that's not the way to go, in my opinion. But let's see how that will develop. I believe like you can wait until Morata, until like the last day of the Mercato, even when the season is basically ongoing, because he comes in and he's not a new signing. Like, he played for us, so he's just gonna play and fit like nothing happened. The only issue is if you're gonna wait and it's not gonna happen, and you have a few days to get your backup striker. No club is gonna sell you their striker because it's season. Like, a few days, they're thinking like we thought with the Ronaldo Keane situation. So it's something we need to keep an eye on. Let's see how that will develop. Then we move on to the next story, or like it's Giovanni Albanese, and he's saying, as of now, the main candidates to replace Dybala, Morata, and Keane are Muriel, Di Maria, and Raspadori. Now, Di Maria is basically almost done. Raspadori, Nico Schira said the club is interested, but they're not gonna pay 30 mil for Raspadori, and he went kind of on a tangent, like we do on the channel, basically saying some of these players are overpriced in Italy, and then you go into Europe, you go outside of Italy, and you get maybe a better player for cheaper. And he thought about Cranio and Mignon, like he named a few basically players. And he's right. Like, we talked about it on the channel, like Fratesi, like they play a few good games, and Sassuolo's like, oh, 30 mil. And we and other teams, we actually pay that, but it needs to end. Like, we need to tell basically Sassuolo, just keep him. Like, because Sassuolo are a team who are proud about their products. I don't want to call people products, but like improving players and sell them on. They're always, you know, putting out to the world we're a very healthy club, which is good, great. But we shouldn't be overpaying for players who haven't really shown it so far, like, or like on a very scale, or a very small scale. Like, the sample size is very, very small. So that's something we need to we need to get away from it. Like, there are other leagues than Serie A. There are other teams than Sassuolo, you know, so you don't need to overpay. So Raspadori, let's see how that will develop. Even for Muriel, like, it's very early. You hear Arnautovic, Muriel, let's see what will happen. But that's basically the striker department. It's something we need to keep an eye on. We actually need to keep a good eye on it, because it's empty. It's empty. That's the reality. Let's move on to the next two stories before we wrap it up, and that's Udoki. Also, Giovanni Albanese saying Juve are getting serious about Udoki, following contacts with the player's entourage. Juve and Udinese will talk soon. They will try to find an agreement between 10 and 50 million plus possible bonuses for the player. Now, also Nico Schira, he was saying that the club is very interested in Udoki, but the club is not paying 20 mil. And he said, like, they shouldn't also, because like he is a starter for 4 months. They picked him up from Verona. He was kind of a nobody. He played very well now, so you cannot pay 20 mil for 4 good months. And I agree. I think 12 million is a fair price, if you want to call it fair, but like, you're not going to get it cheaper. But if the price is 20 mil, I think you need to walk away from it. Because Nico Schira is right. Like, it's only 4 months. You know, and we're just kind of desperate to replace Sandro and Pellegrini because they're not good. But we shouldn't be that desperate that we do something completely stupid. Like, I think, like, if it's between 10 and 15, I think it's a good deal, you know. But let's see how that will develop. We're being linked with him now at the moment. Romeo keeps saying it's still Emerson. I mean, Emerson, like, he thinks Emerson is still a very solid option just because Allegri likes him, which I have no doubts that he likes him, but like, he shouldn't be an option. I'm sorry. Even if he likes him, the club should be saying, no, we're not doing this. But let's see how that will develop. For now, it's Udoki. It's Udoki. It's Udoki. It's like, he's the strongest link at the moment in terms of there are actually talks taking place, or the club's actually thinking about making an offer. But let's see how that will develop. And then the final bit of news for this daily transfer extra is Romeo talking about the youngsters, and he talked about 4 of them. He said Moretti, contact with his agents are planned, but all roads lead to him staying at the club. Good thing. I think he should stay. He deserved that spot in the first team. He showed he can play first team football in Serie A. He's a homegrown player, very cheap also, like not big wages. So I think that's very good. That's very positive. That's what we asked for weeks, months on the channel. People in general. My camera's doing a madness now. So I think that's very good news. I never had any doubt. So I'm not going to say I told you so, but I said months ago that he's the most talented out of all of them. And I think has the highest ceiling and also the best possibility to stay at the club. But let's see how that will develop. Then he said Ranocchia, renewal almost defined, definite, and a loan to Serie A. Good. He had a good season at Vicenza. Serie A, let's see what he will do. He's also talented, but it's good that he gets a loan into Serie A immediately. That would be fantastic. Because he showed it in Serie B. I don't think Serie B, another season Serie B will do him well. I think Serie A is a good move. Let's see to which team. I hope it's a stable team. So yeah. Then he talked about Fagioli, saying crucial, the meeting that will take place soon for the extension. And I will add to that Nico Schira talked about it, and he said he wants to stay. He wants to sign a new deal, and he actually wants to stay with the club. Like, he's very confident that he can be a guy worthy to be in that squad, which I think is positive, that he believes in himself. But I struggle to see that Allegri will keep and Miretti and Fagioli. I really struggle to see that. But let's see how that will develop. His agent came out saying, we want to stay at Juve. Like, let's see what the plan is, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what the plan is. And then we move on to the last one, and that's Rovella and Romeo saying Allegri decides. Let's see. Again, I struggle. Like, if Miretti stays, I need to see it. I need to see it that someone else will also stay. I will be absolutely in shock if Miretti and Rovella or Miretti and Fagioli will be with the first team next season. I will be surprised. Also because Rovella has offers. I don't know, not certain, but he will be in training camp on the tour to the USA apparently, and then Allegri will make his mind up after that one. So yeah, let's see how that will develop. But that's the daily news extra for today. Nothing really breaky, unless you want to talk about Di Maria and Pogba, but that's basically the same news again. So we're not doing that on this video. We're just talking about the attacking department, which we should be paying more attention to, and I think we will once we basically wrapped up that Di Maria and Pogba signing. What the club is basically planning to do now, I think we will focus more on that attacking department / left wing, left back, completely left wing, basically the left hand side of the field. So yeah, that's the daily extra. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, because we have some good things coming up. New shows, giveaways, a lot of good stuff. And then we will see you back in a few hours. Ciao.